This episode is brought to you by PayPal. You have plans for the last days of summer. And back-to-school shopping has its own plans. School supplies, dorm essentials, your list doesn't stop. Neither does the spending. But when you pay in full with PayPal, you can pay over time. No interest, no fees. Check out with PayPal and get back to summer. Subject to approval. Learn more at paypal.com/payinfor. PayPal Inc. NMLS 910457.
English with Us podcast.
Hello, everyone. I hope you all are doing amazing today. Welcome back to English with Us podcast. My name is David.
Hello, David, and hello, everyone. I am very excited about today's topic because describing past events is something we do all the time. We talk about what happened yesterday, what we did last weekend, or what happened during a trip. Last Saturday, I met a friend in New York, had lunch, walked through a park, and got caught in a short rain shower. It was a simple day, but it gave me a story to tell.
That is perfect, Emma, because today we will learn simple English for describing past events. We will talk about when something happened, where it happened, who was there, what happened first, what happened next, how people felt, and useful phrases for telling clear stories about the past.
David, before we start today's episode, we have a quick announcement, right?
Yes, Emma. We're now posting the full transcript and study pack for each podcast episode on Patreon. Each study pack can help you review the lesson, practice useful English, and keep learning after the episode.
That sounds really helpful.
Yes, you can join us on Patreon for only $3.99 a month. The link is in the description. Thank you so much for learning with us and supporting the podcast.
We hope to see you there. Now, let's start today's episode. David, quick question. What is a past event?
A past event is something that happened before now. An event can be something big, like a wedding, or something small, like missing the bus yesterday.
So almost anything that already happened can be a past event.
Yes, exactly. A useful sentence is, something interesting happened yesterday.
That already sounds very useful.
Yes. Another useful sentence is, I want to tell you what happened last weekend.
Quick check, David. A past event is something that happened before now, right?
Yes, exactly. That is correct.
David, how should we begin describing a past event?
A good way is to say when it happened. We can use yesterday, last night, last week, last year, or a few days ago.
Can you give us an example?
Of course. Last Saturday, I went to a street market with my brother.
That tells us the time right away.
Exactly. Another useful sentence is, a few days ago, something funny happened at work.
That makes me want to hear the story.
Yes. Another useful phrase is, it happened on my way home.
David, after saying when it happened, what comes next?
It is helpful to explain where you were and who was with you. This gives the listener context. Context means information that helps someone understand a situation.
So I could say, last Sunday, I was at a cafe with my cousin.
Exactly. A useful sentence is, I was downtown with two friends.
That is simple and clear.
Yes. Another one is, we were at my aunt's house for dinner.
That gives us the place and the people.
Another useful phrase is, I was alone when it happened.
Quick check, David. Context is information that helps someone understand the situation, right?
Yes, exactly. That is correct.
David, how do we explain what happened first?
We can use words like first, then, next, after that, and finally. These words help put events in order. Order means the way things happen from beginning to end.
Can you show us with a short example?
Yes. First, I left home. Then I took the train. After that, I met my friend. Finally, we went to lunch.
That is very easy to follow.
A useful sentence is, first, let me explain what happened.
That sounds natural.
Another useful phrase is, after that, everything changed.
Quick check, David. Words like first and then help us put events in order, right?
Yes.
This episode is brought to you by PayPal. You had plans for the last days of summer. And back to school shopping has its own plans. School supplies, dorm essentials, your list doesn't stop. Neither does the spending. But when you pay in full with PayPal, you can pay over time. No interest, no fees. Check out with PayPal and get back to summer. Subject to approval. Learn more at paypal.com/payinfor. PayPal Inc. NMLS 910457.
Exactly. That is correct.
David, what verbs do we often use when describing past events?
We use many common past verbs like went, saw, met, ate, had, took, called, arrived, left, and felt. We do not need to learn all of them at once.
Let's use a few in real sentences.
Good idea. A useful sentence is, I went to the store after work.
And maybe one with saw?
I saw an old friend on the train.
How about met?
We met outside the restaurant at 7.
Quick check, David. These verbs tell us actions that already happened, right?
Yes, exactly. That is correct.
David, what if the event was unexpected?
Unexpected means something happened that you did not plan or think would happen. Unexpected events often make good stories.
Can you give us an example?
Yes. I was walking home when I suddenly saw a dog running down the street by itself.
Suddenly is a useful story word.
It is. Suddenly means quickly and without warning. A useful sentence is, suddenly the lights went out.
That makes the story more interesting.
Another useful phrase is, I did not expect that to happen.
Quick check, David. Unexpected means not planned or not expected, right?
Yes, exactly. That is correct.
David, how can we describe a problem in a past event?
We can explain what went wrong. Go wrong means happen in a bad or difficult way. Maybe you missed a train, lost something, forgot an appointment, or had car trouble.
Can you give us a clear example?
Yes, everything was going well, but then I realized I lost my wallet. Realized means suddenly understood something.
That would be stressful.
Definitely. Another useful sentence is, my train was delayed, so I arrived late. Delayed means happening later than planned.
That is very common travel English.
Another useful phrase is, that was when the problem started.
Quick check, David. Delayed means happening later than planned, right?
Yes, exactly. That is correct.
David, how do we describe our feelings during the event?
We can use simple feeling words like happy, excited, nervous, worried, surprised, embarrassed, tired, or relieved. Relieved means happy because a worry or problem has ended.
Can you give us an example with relieved?
Yes. I found my wallet under the table, so I felt very relieved.
That is easy to understand.
Another useful sentence is, I was nervous at first, but then I relaxed.
That shows how the feeling changed.
Yes, another useful phrase is, I could not believe what happened.
Quick check, David. Relieved means happy because a worry or problem has ended, right?
Yes, exactly. That is correct.
David, can we describe what other people did too?
Of course. A good story often includes other people. We can say who helped us, what someone said, or how another person reacted. Reacted means showed a feeling or response to something.
Can you give us an example?
My coworker saw the problem and came over to help me.
That sounds very natural.
Another one is, my friend laughed when I told her what happened.
And one more?
The manager stayed calm and explained what we should do.
Quick check, David. Reacted means showed a response to something, right?
Yes, exactly. That is correct.
David, what is a good way to describe a funny past event?
We can give the important details, but we should keep the story clear. Detail means a small piece of information about something.
Can you tell us a short, funny story?
Sure. Last month I went to a cafe before work. I ordered coffee, paid, and walked away. After about 10 seconds, I realized I forgot the coffee on the counter.
That is something I could imagine doing.
The worker called me back, and we both laughed. A useful sentence is, I felt a little embarrassed, but it was funny.
Embarrassed means feeling uncomfortable because of something you did.
Exactly. Another useful phrase is, we laughed about it afterward. Afterward means after the event.
Quick check, David. A detail is a small piece of information, right?
Yes, exactly. That is correct.
David, what about describing a difficult event?
We can use calm and clear language. We can say what happened, what the problem was, and how it ended. We do not need very complicated words.
Can you show us?
Yes. Yesterday my car would not start. I called a friend and he came to help me. We fixed the problem, but I arrived at work late.
That is a complete little story.
Exactly. A useful phrase is, it was stressful, but everything worked out. Worked out means ended successfully or became okay.
That is a great phrase.
Another one is, the situation was difficult, but I stayed calm.
Quick check, David. Worked out means ended successfully or became okay, right?
Yes, exactly. That is correct.
David, what questions can we ask someone about a past event?
We can ask what happened, when did it happen, where were you, who was with you, what did you do next, and how did you feel?
Those questions can help someone tell a full story.
Yes. A useful question is, what happened after that?
That keeps the story moving.
Another one is, how did everything end?
That is useful near the end.
Another useful phrase is, were you surprised when that happened?
Quick check, David. Asking follow-up questions helps us learn more about the event, right?
Yes, exactly. That is correct.
David, how can we answer what happened?
Start with the main event. For example, I missed my flight, then add the important details.
Can you build that into a short answer?
Sure, I missed my flight because my bus was late. I arrived at the airport 10 minutes after the gate closed.
That sounds very clear.
Then I can continue. I spoke to the airline worker, and she helped me get another flight.
And how did it end?
I arrived several hours late, but I finally got there.
Quick check, David. It helps to start with the main event and then add details, right?
Yes, exactly. That is correct.
David, what if we cannot remember something exactly?
We can be honest. We can say, I do not remember exactly. I think it was around 8. Or, I am not sure, but I think it happened last year.
This episode is brought to you by PayPal. You had plans for the last days of summer. And back to school shopping has its own plans. School supplies, dorm essentials, your list doesn't stop. Neither does the spending. But when you pay in full with PayPal, you can pay over time. No interest, no fees. Check out with PayPal and get back to summer. Subject to approval. Learn more at paypal.com/payinfor. PayPal Inc. NMLS 910457.
Here.
That is useful because memories are not always perfect.
Exactly. A useful sentence is, I do not remember the exact date.
Very natural.
Another one is, I think it happened about 2 years ago.
That sounds realistic.
Another useful phrase is, I may be wrong, but that is how I remember it.
Quick check, David. We do not need to pretend we remember every detail, right?
Yes, exactly. That is correct.
David, how do we finish a story about a past event?
We can explain the result, the feeling, or what we learned. Result means what happened in the end.
Can you give us some examples?
Yes. In the end, everything was okay. Or, after that, I was much more careful. Or, it was a difficult day, but I learned something important.
Those endings feel complete.
A useful sentence is, looking back. I can laugh about it now. Looking back means thinking about something that happened in the past.
That is a great phrase.
Another useful phrase is, I will never forget that day.
Quick check, David. The result tells us what happened in the end, right?
Yes, exactly. That is correct.
David, can we do a simple practice conversation about a past event?
Yes, let's do one.
Okay.
What happened to you yesterday?
I missed my train on the way to work.
Why did you miss it?
I left home late because I could not find my keys.
What did you do next?
I took the next train and sent my manager a message.
Did everything work out?
Yes. I arrived 15 minutes late, but my manager understood.
That is a very natural conversation.
Yes, it has a beginning, a problem, and an ending.
Let's do one more about a happy event.
Okay.
What did you do last weekend?
I went to my cousin's graduation party.
Who was there?
My aunt, uncle, cousins, and several family friends.
What was the best part?
We ate together, took many pictures, and celebrated my cousin.
How did you feel?
I felt very proud and happy for her.
Excellent. Very simple and very useful.
David, what are the most important things to remember from today?
First, say when and where the event happened. Second, explain who was there. Third, tell the actions in a clear order. Fourth, describe your feelings and explain how the event ended.
That is such a clear plan.
Yes, English for this topic does not need to be difficult. You only need common past verbs, time words, simple feeling words, and a clear order for your story.
That is really helpful.
Yes, simple English is enough to describe past events in a clear and natural way.
David, let's do a quick review quiz before the big summary.
Good idea. What does unexpected mean?
Unexpected means something happened that you did not plan or think would happen.
Yes. What does relieved mean?
Relieved means happy because a worry or problem has ended.
Correct. What does afterward mean?
Afterward means after the event.
Perfect. What does looking back mean?
Looking back means thinking about something that happened in the past.
Excellent. That was a very, very long and detailed conversation about describing past events. Now let's have a quick review of today's lesson.
Today we talked about simple and useful English for describing past events. We learned that a clear story usually tells us when something happened, where it happened, who was there, and what happened.
We practiced time phrases like yesterday, last weekend, last year, and a few days ago. We also used words like first, then, next, after that, and finally to put events in a clear order.
We learned useful story words too, like unexpected, suddenly, delayed, relieved, embarrassed, afterward, and memory. We also practiced questions like, what happened? What did you do next? How did you feel? And how did everything end?
We talked about happy events, difficult events, funny events, trips, and memories. We learned that we do not need every small detail. We only need the important information that helps another person follow the story.
The big idea is this. Describing past events does not need to be complicated. Start with when and where. explain what happened in order, add your feelings, and finish with the result. That is enough to tell a clear and natural story in English.
Your final homework for this lesson: comment 1 to 2 sentences about something that happened to you recently. Here are 2 simple example answers.
Example 1. Last weekend, I visited my friend and we had lunch at a new restaurant. The food was great and we had a really good time. Example 2. Yesterday, I missed my bus and arrived late to work, but everything worked out in the end.
Thank you everyone for watching and listening all the way to the end.
If you enjoy our podcast and would like to support us, you can find the donation link in the description.
Every bit of support helps us keep creating free English lessons.
Keep practicing, and we'll see you later in the next episode.
Booking.com is the easiest way. From a day surrounded by noise to a stay surrounded by nature. That's nice. Go on, book it. It's easy. Booking.com. Booking.yeah.
Episode.